Hi there, I'm Sonia Wick, and this is my video blog. Today is day 11 of my video blog, and luckily some people that have been watching the video blog have come to me and asked me to talk about a few things. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about motivation and inspiration. Dina, who is a dietitian with Fuelformance, asked me what inspires me. And Troy and Christy's still here, and I sat down and we kind of had a talk about inspiration and what inspires each of us and what motivates us. We kind of talked about those two things. So inspiration, I think one thing that really inspires me, I get asked this question a lot, and I think the natural answer is, who inspires you? And I always have trouble answering that question because I tend to try not to put people up on pedestals too much, or to look at people like they're up here and I'm down here looking up at them. But people are people. So I think one thing that really inspires me is other people's struggles, or other people making the hard choices in life and going forward with difficult decisions. Think of my athlete Christy, who has a really demanding full-time job and 2 kids, but she still makes the decision to train for triathlons, and she does it late at night and on her lunch break, and she makes the hard decision. It'd be very explainable for her to just say, I don't have time, but that inspires me. People who kind of go above and beyond to say, I really want to chase my personal dreams, and they carve out the time to do it and are still able to keep all their other balls up in the air. Another thing that Troy kind of reminded me of when we were talking that I am really inspired by is being out in nature. I love to be outside. I love to ride my bike outside and go running outside. And when I was young, I used to hike a lot as a kid. And I loved being in nature. Every time I get out there in the quiet stillness, I'm always inspired. I always have good ideas, and I come away rejuvenated, and I feel full of life. So nature is also something that really inspires me. Getting outside, vitamin D. Another thing we were talking about is motivation and what motivates you. And it's such a silly question, like, what motivates you, or what do you do for motivation? And we all agreed that when you have an interest in something, you're motivated. And when you're doing something because you think maybe it's what you're supposed to do, or maybe what you've kind of finagled yourself into, then you kind of are more in a position to having to find motivation. And a good example I can think of this is one of my friends. She used to be a coach in triathlon, and she took some time off from triathlon and coaching, and every time she comes back and she wants to get healthy again, she always comes back to triathlon. And she always struggles because there's a lot of sort of past issues there resurfacing, and she's been there and she's done that. And I always think to myself, I bet she'd be a really great rock climber. I bet she'd be a really great 14er climber, because I think when she does triathlons, she's really doing something that she kind of thinks she's supposed to do. And so she struggles with motivation, and she kind of is always having to find that mojo and that motivation, because maybe her interest really isn't there anymore. So I think there's a difference between really thinking about something that you're truly interested in versus something that you just think you're supposed to do, maybe because you did it in the past, or maybe because you took a job doing that because it's where you could make money or something like that. I think it's easy to be motivated when you're interested and enthusiastic and you're passionate about something, and it's harder to be motivated when you just feel like you're supposed to be going down this path. And Christy brought up a really good quote that I'll share with you as the quote of the day, and I don't know who it's from because I didn't ask her. She said she read it in Runner's World. Are you motivated by success or the avoidance of failure? I thought that was interesting. I think if you are motivated by success, that you don't really have to be motivated. Motivation is sort of something that just comes. Whereas if you are constantly avoiding failure, you have trouble and are constantly seeking motivation, and you're always trying to find mojo. So yeah, that was kind of the discussion I wanted to have today on motivation and inspiration, and I wonder what inspires you all. And if you're doing something that inspires you, or you're doing something you're passionate about, do you struggle with motivation? You know, do you have times where you just don't want to do it? Anyway, that's me. Day 11. Sonja Wick, video blogging. Go Broncos. We won today against the Chargers, so we get to go to the championships. And next weekend, that'll be here in Denver, but I will be riding my bike, pedal, riding my bike down the coast of California, so I won't be in Colorado anymore for that next Denver Broncos game. I hope everyone's doing great. Okay, over and out.